You had me and you lost me. And don't think I'm going to come running after you because we are through. And that's right, screw you!
If Doctor Strange had just listened to Wanda in the first place, Multiverse of Madness would have never happened. I'm okay. Doctor Strange turns around to Wanda and says, your kids aren't real, stop looking for them, they're not out there, like, stop being a woman. Stop being so fucking emotional right now and think about what you're doing. She's like, my kids are real, I created them. And he's like, nah, you didn't. And obviously she can't sense Billy or Tommy, because Billy is sigilled up at that point, and Tommy doesn't even have a vessel yet. That sigil only hides him from witches. Doctor Strange is a sorcerer. He is the former Sorcerer Supreme, and his best friend is the Sorcerer Supreme. If they had just listened to Wanda in the first place, they could have found Billy. They could have ended the whole suffering of the multiverse if they had just listened to Wanda. But no. The more you think about it, the more annoying it gets. Is he just salty that she starts calling herself a witch? Like, Doctor Strange has, like, this whole comment, and he's like, freaking, you've been terrorizing kids and calling yourself a witch? Does he just not like women? Is that why it never works out with his girlfriend? Because he just hates women. The second she's like, I'm the Scarlet Witch, he's like, you are not an Avenger anymore. You are off the team. So annoyed. If your friend is having a breakdown, maybe listen to what they're saying before you judge them and tell them they're crazy. Stephen. For All Along is one of those shows that comes very close to depicting how actual witchcraft works. Obviously, actual witches can't use, like, they can't blast people with magic, and there's not really, like, a supernatural element to real witches. But I like the fact that they point out that, you know, like, ear or wing of bat and eye of newt are just code names for herbs and stuff, because obviously witches had to use codes back in the day out of fear of being prosecuted. Their depiction of divination as well is very accurate as well. Like, I've seen, like, a lot of divination witches, divination witches, let's say, saying that they've really loved the way that Lilia and the show depicts divination, because time is not linear, and the fact that the show shows this as well, and it's not just like, she's seeing the future and she's seeing the past, all blah-de-blah, but it's actually all happening at once, which is it's an interesting concept, and I do love it. I also love the fact that they use, like, analog magic, which is... I don't think that magic is inherited. I think that everyone can use magic. Maybe there are some people out there that have more of affinity to magic, but magic is not confined to a certain group of people. Everyone can use it. Everyone can practice and accumulate this art. I think it's like singing. Everyone can sing, just some people aren't good at it and they need training. We get these, like, type of, like, movies and shows also, like, demonize witchcraft, or, like, hype up the demonization of witchcraft and witches as well. But, like, this show kind of is just like, yeah, witches were prosecuted just because they were women in power. Not just women in power, but witchcraft, I think, is mainly women in power, or powerful women, or women that knew a lot more than the men of the time, and that's what people didn't like. Back around the time of the witch trials, if you were ill and you lived in a big city, you would probably just go to the church to be healed, but people in, like, villages and the countryside wouldn't have access to going to these like far off cities. So they would turn to the women in their community to heal them. And people were like, you're not using the power of God to heal you. You're obviously using something else. And the people of the time thought that was the devil. Little did we know it was science. Or little did they know it was science. But yeah, I think the fun thing about witchcraft is it's early science. Magic and potions and reading the future and plotting the stars and stuff. It's just science that has a different name.
Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder, treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. First, the overture. Yes, the strings. Listen carefully, can you hear it? Now the brass.
I can hear it. Look outside, Mummy. They're playing music.
Guys, I was worried and I didn't even have to be. These are delightful. I will say, unfortunately, I can't tell where the marshmallows used to be. Well, I kind of can. There's holes in this where the marshmallows have melted into the other batter. But it's kind of left like this, like, not gooey. I don't like that word. When describing desserts, that makes me feel like it's undercooked. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's giving it like a marshmallowy texture. It's really good as well. This is the best brownie recipe I've ever found. Some of the marshmallows have like caramelized on top. They're burnt, but they're caramelized. Don't tell anyone. It actually tastes really nice with the dark chocolate as well. The chocolate pieces I stuck on top of like kind of some of like sunk in to the batter. Love it. The biscuits in there as well. I actually love digestives, but like, yeah, they were like giving it an extra crunch and I love it. I don't think there's anything from this I'd change. There's a couple recipes I have and I'm like, yeah, I could change this. But this is perfect. And like, the measurements are so precise as well. And I know in baking, it's more of a science than in cooking. So things kind of have to be in the same like ballpark. But these are like, I don't know, I think the butter is like 227 grams. That's so weird. Like, why not be 230 or 225? I don't get it. Don't ask me. I am a baker, but I don't make these recipes. If you have the ingredients for these, make them, please. Like, please. They're so good. I was so worried about putting marshmallows in a cake or a brownie because, like, all the things I was saying was like, oh, your brownies aren't going to set or your cakes aren't going to set and they're going to come out goopy or, like, just, they'll never be. And I was sat up all night thinking about it. I was like, oh, I've got to go check. So, like, at 1 a.m. I came downstairs and I was like, yeah, that's rock solid. It's done! Make these if you can.
There's a moment where Master Pandemonium is talking to a fragment.
In that video, they said that the children of the Scarlet Witch are greatly feared throughout the universe, and they could be considered very powerful beings, more powerful than the Scarlet Witch. I think people kind of dismiss the fact that Speed is just a speedster, he just runs fast. But my theory is, what if Speed can run so fast he can travel back in time? What if Speed is the one to save Wanda? We all know that Mr. She Is Not My Mother probably won't be the one to save Wanda. Breaks my heart, but let's be reasonable. It probably won't be him. I've been told that in the comics, Wiccan, Billy Maximoff, William Kaplan doesn't have that good of a relationship with Wanda. I've not been told much about Tommy, so I can't assume anything, but I think the way that it's going, they could make Tommy be the one to save Wanda. He could run so fast that he goes back in time like the Flash and saves Wanda. That could be what the big red flash was. Him breaking the sound barrier and pulling Wanda back into the future. I don't know if this is true. It's a fun little theory. It could be true. It could be not be. We'll see. I think it's good to critique media, especially the ones we like. I really liked Agatha All Along, but there were a couple plot holes that I saw while rewatching the show after the finale. Plot hole 1. If Agatha knew that the road wasn't real and she fully intended to drain the witch's powers of the coven that she created, or that Lilia predicted would go on the road with her, why did she pick Mrs. Hart, well, Sharon Davis, a non-magical person? What was she going to do to Sharon after she drained the witches in the room? Was she going to... Sharon? Why would she let Jen come along when Jen is bound? And unless I'm, mistaking, Lilia has no powers that would make her be able to blast Agatha, so why would she pick Lilia? Agatha said that she knew roughly from the very beginning that Billy was a Maximoff and he wasn't really her son, and she knew this. So why was she acting as if she, thought that he was her son? I think I found the point where she realises it. It's when she spits at the house, because she's talking to him and he's like, oh, should we go? She looks at the house, looks at him, and then waits for him to walk off and his back's turned, and then she spits at the house. So I think that's the point where she's like, yes, this is a Maximoff. But then throughout later episodes, she kind of hints that she thinks that he's her son, and then Rio has to point blank tell her that he's not. But then she also then she continues to do it. It's just a thing. It's a nitpick more than a plot hole. Jen said that she tried every possibility to unbind her magic. She admits that a magicless man bound her and she doesn't know how he did it. And it never crosses her mind that maybe a witch sold him a binding spell. The fact that Lilia sacrifices herself when she didn't have to is a little, again, not a plot hole, more of a nitpick. We know from past trials that the Salem 7 cannot get into a trial until either until it's stopped being a trial. Lilia closes the door and the Salem 7 get in, because it's no longer a trial. Then, seconds later, after their demise, the door vanishes. So if Lilia had just gone through the door and let it close behind them, the Salem 7 would have had to go the long way around. They had one trial left and she could have got off the road. I don't see why Lilia sacrificed herself. I know she thought that her time was coming to an end, but again, as a divination witch, you know that time isn't linear, so why just assume that your time is coming to an end? If kissing Rio unalives you, why did Agatha and Rio go to kiss each other in... I don't know which episode, but it's the episode where she's like, that's not your son. Or that boy isn't yours. Yeah. Why did Agatha unalive in the second to last episode? If kissing Rio was the thing that did it, they must have kissed before. They were in a relationship. I assume they've kissed before. When did Agatha get the Darkhold? Because loads of people were saying that Agatha got the Darkhold and then got pregnant with Nicholas to give away, a firstborn child type deal. And then she grew attached to Nicholas, and that's why she was so distraught, and she was asking Rio to give her as much time as she could with her son. If she had the Darkhold at that point, how did Rio find her not only once, but twice? Surely if she had the Darkhold, she would have been able to hide her and her son from Rio. I know that you can project like an illusion of yourself, even after you've got the Darkhold. But in like in the montage of Agatha draining witches, we see her like using her powers, and the closest one to our time is roughly the 90s. And Agatha does not have black fingers at that point. Like, Jen even looks at Agatha's fingers in the second episode and she's like, you've lost the Darkhold. So, it's a little nitpick, and I think it's a little plot hole. So from the episodes in WandaVision, I assume that her coven did what they did because Agatha was reading the Darkhold. But then, if she had it back then, how could she not hide from death? Why were her fingers not black? Maybe she was projecting an illusion of herself. But then again, why did Jen like instantly look at her fingers and like, I know you're not projecting? Kind of a thing to annoys me. Oh yeah, and also like, if it was so close in time to the 90s, so that's what, 30 years ago. Don't. Why would Rio say, how long has it been since you acquired the Darkhold and started hiding behind the dark magic? Surely, to a being that has lived as long as Rio, 30 years isn't that long, and she'd be able to be like, oh, it's only been a short amount of time since we saw each other last. But then she says, like, how long has it been? Implying that it's been centuries. Even Agatha, like, I'm sure she suggests that she's had the Darkhold for centuries. But yeah, those are some of the plot holes that I kind of found or noticed. Please comment down below if you found any more. I would love to hear, like, some, because I think it is fun to critique media that we all like. Even when we like it, I think it's fun to critique. It's Bonfire Night in the UK, and I see every year posts and videos about people telling other people what type of fireworks they can and cannot buy because of pets. I own 4 cats. I know, it's a big number. Comes with its challenges. I would never tell someone what type of fireworks they can and cannot buy, what they can and cannot do in their own homes. Why do people feel so entitled to tell people what they can and cannot do in their own homes just because it upsets their pets? Now, my pets do not like fireworks. Well, 3 out of my 4 cats don't like fireworks. They hide under the beds. My cat Biscuit, my ginger boy, he loves fireworks. He'll sit and watch them at the window and, like, try and swipe at them. But I see so many posts like saying, oh, you have to buy these certain fireworks because they're silent and it'll be better for the dogs. And granted, it's not just one night a year. The lead up to Bonfire, there's a 5-day lead up to Bonfire Night, and people will set off fireworks for those 5 days and a couple days after. So it's more like a week of fireworks. And I understand it's upsetting for your pets. And it's upsetting for you to see your pets acting this way in such distress. But for you to then think, I'm entitled to tell other people what they can buy and do, it's just wild. Did Agatha assume that she was the Scarlet Witch? I was thinking about this when we see the scene where she's giving birth to Nicholas. She holds him and she says, I spoke no spell, I used no incantation, I made you from scratch. It reminded me of the final battle in WandaVision where she says to Wanda, the Scarlet Witch is not born, she is forged. the Scarlet Witch has no coven, no need for incantation. So in creating Nicholas, did she assume that she was the Scarlet Witch? And that's why she was draining witches, to get to a power level worthy of the Scarlet Witch. Those are like the two main points, I think. I've had this theory since WandaVision. I can't remember why I thought about it in WandaVision, but the fact that she like has the Darkhold and she's using the Darkhold and it has this entire chapter on the Scarlet Witch, I just thought, like, is this why she's so angry at Wanda? Is because she thought she was the Scarlet Witch, and then obviously a being more powerful than Agatha comes, and Agatha's like, damn, I thought I was the Scarlet Witch. Chucks. I do think it's also funny as well, because obviously Agatha is a bit annoyed that Wanda has all this magic and she's using it to make breakfast for dinner. I just always assumed that Agatha assumed that she was the Scarlet Witch. I think that's why her mother's like blue crown is so reminiscent of the Scarlet Witch's crown. Maybe she thought that the power is passed down instead of awoken in someone or prophesized in someone. I don't really know. The blue crown confuses me. We can talk about that another day.
Come on, don't just stand there staring, honey. Try to move your feet. If you think they're looking at you, they're looking at me. I can make it nice and easy. I'ma take the lead. They ain't even looking at you, baby. They looking at me. They looking at me. Yeah, they looking at me. Young for a teacher, teach you what you don't know. I can teach you the things that you wanna know, but I can't give it up all at once. You would overdose. Don't you bring any bull in the room tonight. It's a whole new rodeo. It could be you and me, but you know that'll steal the show. Oh, yeah. Cause I've been here once or twice, babe. Never worry about the eyes. Never worry about the eyes. Come on, don't just stand there staring, honey. Try to move your feet.
It's definitely gonna be one of those days, isn't it, guys? When I was focusing on my YouTube, I don't know why my hair's like this. So when I was focusing on my YouTube, I had this series called Tea Time, where I drink anything but tea, basically, and just talk about how I was feeling, what was on my mind, the hullabaloo of the day, week, month, year, whatever. And I've been going through the motions that maybe I want to focus more on my TikToks now. Like, obviously, I've only got like 500 followers over on YouTube. I've got over 8,000 on here, so I kind of just feel like there's an obvious like audience on TikTok here, so I might as well focus on doing things with TikTok just for now. We'll see how it goes in the future. I could go back to YouTube, I might not. I don't know. I just want there to be like a safe space online for just people to talk, because obviously with everything that's gone on with the election in America, obviously I'm not American. The American election doesn't really affect me. It does. There are global issues that the American election will affect people, but it doesn't affect my day-to-day. So I understand, like, people in America, it's going to feel a lot worse than how it's feeling with me. But as, like, a non-American, I'm sat here crying off and on because people will lose their rights. There are women out there now that have lost their rights. And under Trump, he will take away the rights of immigration, or he'll take away the rights of immigrants, and he'll take away the rights of the LGBT and people of colour, and he might even take more rights away from women. We don't know. We'll see what he does over the next 4 years, but I don't think it's going to be fun. But yeah, I just wanted there to be a little place on the internet where people can go and just talk. support each other. We can talk about what's going on in our lives, and this is a safe space at the end of the day. Personally, with me, I have been going back and forth with my mental health. I didn't know if I was going to talk about this online, but I think it's good to be talking about certain things. We should be destigmatizing like mental health and stuff like that. So I have been suffering with anxiety and depression since, diagnosably, I think since I was like 14, 16, around that time. Only the gods know when it truly set in. I have a rough guess, but we'll leave that for another day. And I say recently, in the past 3 years, I have been hit the hardest, which is saying something. I've been through some truly awful stuff, like objectively, subjectively, objectively. But these past 3 years have really set into stone my mental health. Firstly, I was made redundant from working, and during that period, I had a bit of a breakdown, a little mentee bee. It hit me hard. I've not really recovered mentally since, which is hard to admit. Like everything going on since then, like fucking more recently, I've been trying to acquire an autism diagnosis to see if I'm actually autistic or not. I've suspected for many years now that I possibly could be. I don't feel like I see the world as normal people do. And it's become quite evident in recent months as well. There's been a lot of it's caused a lot of arguments within my family, basically. And that's made me feel bad. It's made other people feel bad. I just want to know if it's me, my mental health, or something going on up here that I'm just not aware of. I'm looking at going to counselling as well, or therapy, or whatever we're calling it these days. It's just one of those things. Like everything going on, being out of work, it's made me gain a lot of weight. I've been eating a lot more, and then I've not been eating, and there has been times, I say times, over the past year, I've been limiting myself to 1 meal a day, because I feel genuinely disgusting in this body. And that's a me thing. I no issue with fat people. I think fat people are still very beautiful. I just don't feel beautiful in my body. I don't feel beautiful in myself, and I feel like I should. And that's also affected me a lot. With my mental issues at the moment, I find it very hard to go outside if I'm alone, or say if I'm going to a crowded place, I get mad anxiety. To the point where I'm in bed for the next day. 24 hours, I just need a mental break. And with my home life, I look after 5 cats here. I can't stay in bed all day. I look after my dad as well. We won't go into that. But yeah, I cook, I clean, I do all the gardening and all the house things, and basically just I call myself a stay-at-home son. I just think everything accumulating, everything has come to a peak right now, and I'm just I'm with the whole world right now as well, freaking seeing people in the Middle East, and seeing everything going on in America and the South Americas and in Ukraine and everywhere. It's just one of those. It's not even one of those things. I'm so terrified as well, and it's not helping my mental health, and not being able to go outside. Well, not going outside is also I can't even go out in my front garden without having anxiety about people watching me. When there's no one around, it's genuinely bad. It's just one of those things I feel I have to deal with.
As someone who preaches facts over fiction, I can admit when I'm wrong, and I do. But when I first saw my boyfriend doing the washing up, I genuinely thought he was doing it on purpose to annoy me. So he fills the sink up halfway with water, and adds in the washing up liquid. And then he will wash each thing individually. And I got triggered. So I left the kitchen, and later I asked him, I was like, why do you do it that way? And he was like, I don't know, it's just easier. And I was like, okay. Still convinced he was doing it to annoy me. So over our 3-year relationship, I've seen him do the washing up several times, and he's never changed the way he's done it once, which says to me he's not pretending to do it that way. He genuinely does this all the time. And I can admit when I'm wrong. He's right, it is easier. I've been trying to do it this way over the last few weeks, especially when I've had a big party with my family over. There's a lot of dishes afterwards, and doing it this way is a lot easier than doing it all in the bowl. Because if you're like me, touching food, like wet food, in water makes my skin itch. I leave plates to soak, then they will soak for days. And that's not the best, especially when I've got pets. I'm constantly cooking, so I need everything that I've used. I don't really have a lot of storage space as well, so it's not like I have loads of dishes and utensils and stuff that I can just use. So doing it his way is a lot easier, and it minimizes the amount of times I get triggered by touching wet food. And like I said, I'll always admit when I'm wrong.
Galactic Empire for a safe and secure society.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
And you know what? I'm out. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna get that out of here. To my husband and kids, grab your coats, get some firewood, pack a Lunchables, because we're going off the grids tonight and we're gonna start our own society. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's been really fun, everybody. So much fun.
And it was a perfect part. 20 minutes on stage, sing a great song, die. 2 hours off stage, come back as a ghost.
Wow! If I had a nickel for every time I was doomed by a puppet, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
You tricked me.
Tricked you? No, I saved you.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
I finished season 1 of Vox Machina. Such a show. I did like it for, like, mostly. There were little things that I was just like, okay, this is happening. The show is also a lot more adult than I first thought it was gonna be. The light tree scene where we see the people, there was a child, there was 2 children in that group. Love it. Yeah. I think the dynamics between all the characters as well is really interesting. Like, obviously, this show doesn't start off when they all meet, which I actually like that. The whole, like, trope of, like, a group of heroes meeting in, like, episode 1. I think it's overdone, and I like to see this, like, dynamic of people who actually know each other interacting. I think the jokes in this are on point. I don't think there was a joke in there that I didn't laugh at. Even, like, unfunny scenes were just like, yeah, I was howling. My biggest nitpick with it, and I'm gonna say this, I understand that this is a fantasy show. A fantasy show. It's a cartoon, and there's magic. So there are gonna be things that don't actually line up with other reality, with actual reality. But Dr. Ripley was missing a hand, and her arms were bound. Could her arm just not slip out? I might do a whole video on this, because it confuses me. The whole episode, she was just walking down, like, the corridor, like this. But, so it was like this. Could her arm just not slip out? So wild. I did not appreciate the underuse of David Tennant. He was in, like, 2 episodes, and that's being very liberal. He was in, like, an episode. He was in, like, he was in, like, 5 minutes of the first one. And then he was in the second one. Completely unappreciating David Tennant does not float in this house. I think overall it was a really good, like, season. I'm technically watching this for the second time. So Scott watched this. Scott watched each season when they came out. And then I was in the room. Wasn't really watching, didn't really pay attention. I don't really like D&D. It's not that I don't like it, I don't really get it. It's not my kind of thing. So when he was like, oh, do you want to watch this cartoon about people playing D&D? I was like, not really. So I was in the room, and I was kind of like listening in at some things. Like, I know some spoilers for the future. Kind of. I was asking him about them last night as well, and he was just like, well, you'll have to watch. And I'm like, I kind of know things. I've not watched season 3 yet, so that's all going to be new for me. So yeah, I also heard there's, Scott was saying that there is another series coming out called, like, it's called something weird, but it's set in the same universe as Vox Machina. So I'm going to check that one out as well when it comes out. I'll do reviews and stuff about it as well if you guys want to watch that. I'm decorating for Christmas. Sue me, it's early, I know. But I just thought I'd show you guys what I've done so far. This is my Christmas tree, Yule tree, whatever you want to call it. This is the family tree. So each of these, like, different baubles are actually for each member of my family. Then I've got I made these, the bleeding baubles. I don't think there's anything else on this tree that I've made. Moving over to the fireplace. This is one of my favourite things to do each year. I got these humbug stocking. I made this one, which I love.
I made these planchette baubles. They were going to be for that tree, but I don't think they fit on it. And then I also made these like little ornaments for my branchy tree. And yeah, I absolutely really love this mantle as a whole. I do think it needs to be a little different next year. I'm gonna experiment with levels and stuff, but we'll see. This is the TV bookcase. I absolutely love this bookcase, and I love what I've done with it. I just think it just comes across very much me. This is my favourite corner of the living room. I've got my alternative snowflakes. Billy is dressed as a skeleton. This is, for anyone who doesn't know, this is Billy T-Bone. His middle name is The. So Billy the Bone. Yeah, and he sits on my Grinch chair. I made this Grinch cushion. It looks like it's from the fur of the Grinch. And then I found these patches in Hobbycraft. So I made a throw out of it. It's very small. It literally just fits on the back of this. And then that's it, really. But yeah, I absolutely love it. This is the back window of the living room. And as you can see, it's a bit more simple. I made this Bar Humbug banner out of felt. I might make it a little different if I'm ever going to make one again. These are my Christmas gnomes. And I've painted their hats black just so they fit in more with the decor around the living room. Moving over to my Nightmare Before Christmas chair, I bought the throw and the cushion from Asda, but I made this like spiderweb snowflake cushion. It's based off the spider snowflake that Jack makes in the movie, and I absolutely love it. I actually made the snowflake that he makes in the movie as well for my snowflake wall. So I think them together is just perfect. This is my sofa. I wanted to go with more of like a black and white thing in the living room. So I've got the checked throw on the back, and this little Christmas tree is made out of like the checked material as well. I made these two trees. They're cushions. I absolutely love them. I'm actually thinking about like selling stuff like this, but I don't know. I'm not promising anything. This has got to be the funniest thing I've done all year. I bought this skull from Asda for Halloween, and I decided to leave him up because I absolutely love him and just stick a Christmas hat on him. So we'll see how people react to this. And then lastly, we've got the shelves. I just tend to stick Christmas hats on these guys. I've got another one over here where, again, I just stick Christmas hats on them. I just think it's absolutely hilarious to just put Christmas hats on Halloween decorations. So I'm writing a book, and I don't know if it's the way I plan things, but I can't, like, come up with, like, a step-by-step plan. So I just really write when I have ideas. I don't know how to end this book. I'm not even close to ending it, so I'm not worrying too much now. The original idea, I don't think I'm going to use for this. I might use it for another installment. I might make sequels, depending. I just don't know how to get to the end plan, basically. I could write like a whole plan down and try and stick to it and adapt it if needed. But I'm just like, yeah, 50-50 on it. So yeah, basically, without giving too much away, it's a young boy gets told he's a magic user, gets sent to a school for magic users, acquires 2 male friends on the way to school, and then throughout the course of the book, I don't know if I want the school to be like constantly attacked by magical creatures that are being sent by a member of the faculty or the surrounding areas, or if I want the story to be more about the oppression of magic in the
the magical world and the mundane world. I think with everything going on in the world right now, I think it'd be a more compelling story to do the suppression of magic. I just don't know how to get like a satisfying ending that is also could be open for other books. Love your guys' ideas.
Thank you so much for this. It was entirely unhelpful, but thank you nevertheless.
I have this Christmas tradition where I buy a Christmas jumper every year. I've been doing it since 2015. I thought it'd be nice to do a video where like Scott tries my Christmas jumpers on, because they're massive on him, and I just think that it's really cute. His little like spins and everything as well. I think this video is the cutest thing we've ever like done together. As you can see, as the years have gone on, my taste has gotten a little more spooky, a little bit more darker. So I think it's like fun to look back on all the Christmas jumpers I've ever bought and just see how my fashion and tastes have changed throughout the years. Around August, I decided to start making my own clothes, and it just made me think back of like the process that I've been going through. I've started making items of clothing since I was about 15, 16. This scarf is the very first thing that I ever like made myself. It's not perfect in any way. I made it in the book colours of the like Ravenclaw house, blue and bronze. This is the closest I think that I got. It's very much not a perfect piece, but I love it anyway. It's the very first thing I ever made. Then I've been like kind of knitting, kind of not, off and on since then, but this year is really the year that I decided that I want to start making stuff that I actually like wearing and I actually will wear because I've made it. I've started documenting these things in this book. Scott got it me for our anniversary, I think. Yes. So we can go through it and see the things that I have made and want to make. My smoking robe is the first thing I started making this year. It's been a whole trial and error thing. The smoking robe is the hardest thing that I have made this year. So I've remade or made it 4 times this year. I've messed up every time. Even the finished product that I have said that this is it, this is the last time I'm going to make it, isn't perfect, and I have been thinking about how to perfect it. I stupidly made the collar out of felt instead of using wadding, because the wadding I had just pulls apart and it just wasn't working with what I wanted it to do. So I was like, is there another material that I could try? I tried out felt. Just didn't work out. Might think about using fleece next time. I am gonna remake this, maybe next year. I've got the plans and stuff for it, so I might as well try. Next thing I made was my uniform wizard robes. This took me 1 day to create. So happy that it didn't take forever. I don't really wear them. I wore it for Halloween. I sometimes wear it when I'm like working on my book. It's just like something to keep me warm while I'm working. Then we've got my tartan long coat. Again, this took me one attempt. I don't understand why the smoking robe pattern took me so many attempts to just figure it out. I think it's because it's a vintage pattern, but the tartan coat, again, took me 1 try, took to it instantly. I absolutely adore it. It's actually based off my character from Hogwarts Legacy. I was thinking about making each of my characters' costumes, so like my Ravenclaw character, my Slytherin character, my Gryffindor character, and my Hufflepuff character. But again, no promises. We'll see. So a couple things to look out for next year. I want to find a pattern for a witch's hat. There are loads of patterns that I found, but there are with other patterns, and I'm just 50-50 on
buying them. I might make my own. It just seems very complicated to make your own like witch's hat pattern. I want to make the Agatha Harkness coat. Definitely 100%. There's something about that coat that has just drawn me into the show more, and I just want to make my own. And I've seen a couple online and like, they're a bit expensive online, so I think I'll make my own. I'm making a jumbo throw as well. It's green and black. I'm basing it off one of the schoolhouses in the book I'm writing. I had a kind of thing where I wanted to make like stuff from my book instead of getting inspiration from other things online and stuff. I just wanted to make something that is personal to me. So I'm making a throw from my book. Then again, along the same lines, I'm making a patchwork cardigan that's all black. It's kind of inspired by the Harry Styles patchwork cardigan, but again, it's something one of my characters wears in the book, and I instantly fell in love with it when I was writing his outfit for that scene, and I was just like, yeah, I need to be owned. I need to wear this. I need to own this cardigan. And I couldn't really find one online that I liked, so I was like, I'll just make it myself. And I've been knitting it since August as well. I've been knitting it since September. And I think I'm on the 3rd patch at the moment. The 3rd patch out of 60. So we'll see how long it takes. I might stitch this video and tell you how long it takes when I finish it, if I finish it. Hopefully I do. I do want to make one for each holiday or each season as well. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes. Season 2 of Vox Machina. It was good. For the most part. I really liked it in the beginning. We got the dragons back, the Chroma Conclave. The Chroma Conclave. Yeah, I really like them. I think they were like, they weren't used to the best of their abilities in this season. I do understand that this series is based off D&D campaign, and sometimes in D&D parties split up and there are multiple stories happening at once. But I don't think it went very well in the series. I just think it kind of took me out the story, like jumping between all these different storylines, or like the two stories happening at once. I think it took me out a little bit. And like season 1, I found like every joke slapped in this series. I think it's like their comedy is top tier. The darker elements as well in this series, I absolutely love. Like, the Matron of Ravens and the Vax is now the... he's like a ferryman. He brings people to their afterlives. It wasn't very clear. Hopefully they explain it in season 3. The ending. Me and Scott we watched the majority of the season last night, and then I watched the last 2 episodes this morning, and I was sat there with Scott on episode 11, and I was like, how are they going to finish this so quickly? They've got 4 vestiges left to find, and they've got to defeat 4 dragons. I don't think they're going to be able to do it in 1 season. He's like, well, you're going to have to watch. I'm like, no, but the whole point of seasons is to have, like, enclosed stories. Like, yeah, you have characters that tie over. Like, there are small villains like Dr. Ripley. She's a character that ties over. But the fact that the Chroma Conclave are a 2-season villain, that annoys me a little bit, and I understand that's my issue, not the issue of the series. They are a big villain, so obviously they need more time to, like, more time with the story. And they only defeated 1 dragon this season. Yeah, they defeated 1 dragon last season too. But there was another villain to be focusing on. The villain of this series was supposed to be the Chroma Conclave, and it turned into just being Umbrasyl, which I like. I just think I'm kind of like, it just seems like they're stretching out the story for the sake of it. My feelings, not fact. I do think this season was pretty good. It's just the ending that I didn't really like. There seems to be a lot of things that there are a lot of loose ties to tie up, and it just didn't in this season. I do like it when, like I said, seasons are enclosed. I like when things tie over from different seasons, but small things tie over from different seasons. I don't know. I'm going to watch season 3, and we'll see. I do enjoy the series. I think it is very funny. I feel like the ending ruined it a little bit for me. Season 3 of Vox Machina. You know what, guys? I take it back. Season 2 was good. I realised while watching this we needed the setup of season 2. This season, it starts off on a high point and then just goes up from there. I don't think there was a single time where I was like, did we need this? In this whole season, I was just like, beat for beat for beat. I was just like, what on earth is happening? Oh my god, I was so shocked. Percy's death in this series, and I was just like, and I was texting my boyfriend, I was like, tell me Percy lives, tell me Percy lives, tell me Percy lives, tell me that I will not watch the next episode and he will be dead. I'm not living this life. I'm not. And then he was like, I think Percy lives? And I was just like, no, you need to tell me now. I need spoilers. I need spoilers. I need to know if he lives. And he's like, I don't know. I've not watched past episode 8. And I was like, So I Googled it and no one agreed. People were like, oh, he dies in the campaign, but then gets resurrected later on. But they're not keeping to the canon of the campaign, so we don't know. And I was just like, if he doesn't come back by the end of this season, I'm not watching season 4. Thankfully, they resurrected him. Oh my god, I nearly died inside. He's such a top tier character. It's so weird as well, because I'll probably talk about this in another video. I'll probably do contrasts between what I first thought and what I think now. But I did not like Percy at first, and then we get the whole backstory and with the demon, with Orthrax. I completely loved that storyline, and that they brought it back as well. There were several things that I was like, they're not tying up loose ends here, and they did it in this season, which honestly, thank the gods that they did it for this season, because I was getting really annoyed about it, like the Orthrax stuff, and with the, you know, the temple under Whitestone. I was like, why are they forgetting this? There is a temple under Whitestone, and in season 1, we see it killing priests. Why is no one talking about this? And the dragon invasions, and they had other priorities. They probably weren't thinking about it, but I was like, ugh. But then we get, like, at the very end of season 3, we get to see I don't know what the temple's called, but yeah, we get to see it, and they're resurrecting the Whispering One, the Whispered One, the Whispering One, whatever he's gonna be. Absolutely can't wait for season 4. I don't normally tend to like love stories in my, like, fantasy things. I think it does, like, take away from the main story. But in this, I was absolutely invested with, like, the Keyleth and Vax love stories. It was kind of annoying me at first, and then I was just like, why am I invested in this? Because I really wanted Vax to be with Gilmore. I absolutely love Gilmore. I see so much of myself in Gilmore. He's just perfect, and I think him and Vax together are just, like, the perfect couple. But then, like, everything I got of Vax and Keyleth, I was like, yeah, we needed this. The Vex and Percy stuff, honestly, to God, adore them together. I needed, like, a Percy love story. The Scanlan and Pike kind of love story, they do have feelings for each other, and I understand that. Like, they do have feelings for each other, but I think it's less romantic, because I do think they have romantic feelings for each other, but I think they're in different places and they can't be together at the moment. Like, Scanlan definitely has to go through some stuff to be with Pike. The stuff about, like, Pike's blood as well, like, someone's blood runs through Pike, I didn't get. Obviously they'll probably, hopefully, talk about it in season 4, but I'm feeling like it has some connection to the Whispering One, hopefully. But yeah, this whole season was, like, top tier, best thing ever, and it's so good that it brought season 2 up, in my opinion. We needed the backstory and the setup in season 2. Like I said in my season 2 review, the Chroma Conclave is such a big villain that I think, like, it did need more than one season, but it kind of annoyed me that they tied over to one villain for 2 seasons. But I take it back. I genuinely, like, watching season 3, I was just like, yeah, we needed this. It's such a good series. Can't wait for season 4 to come out. Hopefully it comes out in the next year. Hopefully.
Vamonos!
I'm reading through the Percy Jackson books, and there's something I'm a little bit confused on. Everyone at Camp Half-Blood are cousins, essentially, aren't they? I'm only on the 4th book now, so I don't know about future relationships or whatnot. So it's been hinted at several times throughout the last 3 books that Percy has kind of a crush on Annabeth. Are they not cousins? Is this not weird to anyone else? I was also told that there are gay characters in Percy Jackson. I was like, no, they're not. I've not come across one yet. So I kind of looked it up and kind of found out, a little spoiler for myself, but Nico is gay and had a thing for, or had a crush on Percy. They're literal cousins. Their fathers are brothers. Is this not weird to anyone else? Why did the author include relationships between the campmates when their parents are siblings? So strange. Like, I understand in Greek myths and many pantheons outside of Greek myths that some related gods will have relations with each other. But is that the correct way? Like, why does that translate to half-bloods? Why is it okay for demigods to do it just because their parents do it? I'm trying to understand, and it's just a little bit gross to me. Not a little bit, it's very gross to me. I just don't like it at all. Why does Percy's mum keep sending him to public school? Why can't she just homeschool? I know she's got, like, a job and classes, but why can't he be homeschooled? Why can't he do, like, online classes? His mum keeps sending him to public school. I understand it so they can spend the majority of the year together, and then Percy goes to Camp Half-Blood for the summers. But this is the 4th year in a row that a school has been attacked because Percy is there. At this point, surely it's just neglect. I don't understand. Like, what's going through her? Oh, this will be the year that someone doesn't attack my kid's public school. And it's very much like, why does Dumbledore keep sending Harry to the Dursleys? But I just genuinely don't understand. And so I'm on the 4th book, and she sent him to her boyfriend's school without talking to her boyfriend about what Percy is and who will come and attack. And there's no protections at the school as well. They never send protections. They never make sure that there aren't monsters in the school. Surely they should send Grover to, so he can smell the monsters. I'm just so confused. At this point, she must have no consideration for human life, because people get harmed in these attacks every year. It's been happening since Percy was... It's been happening for the past 4 years at this point in the book. Surely there's a point where she's just like, all right, Percy, you need to start going to Camp Half-Blood for the majority of the year, and I'll see you over the summers. Because I'm sure she sends him away to these public schools or private schools or whatever they are. Anyway, so she's not really seeing him for the majority of the year. He goes to public school. Am I not reading these books right? People are always asking me, Theo, why is your house so dark? This is so dark. Your living room's so dark. You don't use the big light. Like, even when it's daytime, you have these blinds everywhere and window vinyls to keep the light out. And genuinely, it's because I like it dark. I think it's more the, bright colours and bright light gives me headaches. And I just like feeling cozy, and the darker the space, the cozier it is to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's a trauma thing, or maybe it's something else. I don't know. But I just wanted to show you guys some of my window vinyls because I absolutely love them. So this is the one that I did maybe a couple weeks ago. Last month, definitely. This is my front door. These are the same ones on my living room windows. This is the same vinyl on the back windows. This is my kitchen window. And then I've just done this one on my other front door. I have these purple ones on my bedroom windows, but I'm going to replace it with the black ones. So yeah, people may think that my house is too dark and too spooky, but that's genuinely the point. I want my house to be dark and spooky and moody and just not like your normal mundane house.
I think Tyson is one of my favourite characters in the series. So Percy's just got back to camp and he's found Tyson there cleaning the cabin because Percy always leaves it in a bit of a mess. Doesn't think about the consequences of his actions, basically. And yeah, when Tyson got first brought into the books, I was kind of like, didn't really like him. But I feel like that was because I was projecting my feelings from the movies. I watched the two movies first. I just genuinely didn't like Tyson at first, but he grew on me quickly. I absolutely love him. He's so cute and sweet, and there's just something about Tyson. There's a new character as well. I don't remember his name. The guy with the burn mark on his neck. I don't know if I think it's Hercules or not. It is a demigod. Hercules is a demigod. We'll see. I'll come up with theories the more we see of him. You can kind of guess mysteries in these books just before they happen. So I'll see if I can guess before it's revealed who he actually is. But he has a hellhound. I don't remember Hercules having a hellhound. I'll see. I'll look through I'm not gonna Google it. I'll see if I can figure it out. Nico has returned to the story. For some reason, an iris message popped up in Percy's cabin, and then he paid for it, but it was sent to him. Kind of a thing. A bit confused on that. Hopefully it gets brought up later. We get to see Nico talking to a ghost. I really hope that Nico isn't going to become a villain or an antagonist. I really like Nico. He's not been dealt the best hand in life. It's probably what you get for your father being the god of the underworld. I was going to say the god of death, but he's not. So it's probably what you get for having a father that is the god of the underworld. It's not his fault, the sins of the father and everything. It's kind of in these books, if your parent has done something, it's kind of also put on their children, because obviously gods can't intervene with each other, but they can intervene with their children. So it's lovely. Did I grow a mustache? How do you think? I'm seeing a lot of guys online with moustaches, and I'm like, should I grow one? Should I just try it? I don't know. I'm gonna shave now and see. I found my handheld shaver, so we're gonna see. Where am I? Where's my hair tie? I don't know how charged the shaver is. Hopefully it does it all the way. That's halfway. That's essentially the look we're going for. Oh, I have no idea. We'll keep it and see. It's hair, it'll grow back. Yeah, I don't know. I really can't tell. I don't know if I like it or not. Or if it's just different. Or if it's just a filter. We'll see. So an entrance to the labyrinth just happens to be in the camp. And how convenient that Percy just happens to fall upon it. How convenient that there's an unprotected entrance into the camp. Surely the god's protections would have taken into account a backdoor entrance. Surely. It just seems quite convenient to me.
I know it's a kid's book, and obviously they need a way to get to the labyrinth to start the journey of this story. But it's just like, they come across it so easily. And Annabeth has been looking for this all spring, I assume. I think that's what they said. That her and... I forget her name. But yeah, her and that other girl have been looking for it all spring. And they've just now happened to accidentally come across it. Sure. But along with that, we have Grover worried about his searcher's license getting revoked because no one believes him that he's been hearing the voice of Pan. I'm getting a feeling that Pan is in the labyrinth somewhere. Maybe. It is really frustrating as a reader to see Grover's own people not believing him. Obviously, we have more information than they do. They only have to go off Grover's word that he's been hearing the voice of Pan. To be fair, I probably wouldn't believe him either. So, like, for centuries, people have been looking for Pan, and no one has come close to even finding him. This is a magical world. Are there not, like, truth serums or stuff like that they could use on Grover to see if he is telling the truth or not? Or maybe they just think it's some kind of, like, trick from, like, Kronos or someone. I don't know what's going through their minds right now, but it's genuinely heartbreaking to see Grover suffering like this. Quintus isn't trustworthy, am I right? During this chapter, we find out that he's been, like, poking round the secret entrance to the labyrinth. I'm not trusting it. I feel like it's a red herring, but he's not trustworthy, right? There just seems to be something about him. I don't know. We'll see. I'm getting the impression that Annabeth never actually got a prophecy. Just the way she was talking about the prophecy, it just didn't sound like she heard it. It sounded like she made it up on the spot. So I'm guessing that she made up the prophecy. At least maybe the last line. Possibly. So I've done a video on this, and I don't like the fact that the author has included a relationship between Annabeth and Percy. Annabeth is Percy's second cousin. It's so strange. I don't care if gods technically don't have DNA and technically the demigods aren't related in that way. It just sounds like an excuse for the author to include. It's just so strange. Like, I think the books are good on their own without, like, these, like, a love story, entanglement type thing. It's just icky, and I don't know if I can get over it. It's just so strange. So I wrote down the family tree, because I was like, is Annabeth Percy's niece or something? Blah, blah, blah. I was a bit confused. So Kronos is the father of Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. Zeus is the father of Thalia and Athena. Athena is the mother of Annabeth. Poseidon is the father of Percy. So that makes Annabeth Percy's second cousin. How is this normal? How is this okay? This is strange. Like, I'm sure there are gods in this series that aren't related to the big three. Technically. So why include love stories between related, like, cousins? It's so odd. Even with all the explanations on my video, it just sounds like an excuse to include. It's so odd. And I can't get over it. I'm really sorry. So I started my new medication. I've been kind of, like, up and down recently. You may have been able to tell, you may not have. It's just been one of those things. I thought I could come off my medication. I could not. I was literally kind of fine. I was fine
in the background of things. No. I was fine in, like, the forefront of my mind, but in the background I was having, like, mental breakdowns. I wasn't really aware of how bad I'd actually got without my medication until the election. And I cried for like 3 days straight. So we're back on the meds. I think this is a good lesson for not only me, but other people. Speak to your doctor before you come off your meds. Don't just come off your meds because you're pissed off at your doctor. The main reason why I came off was, so I have this note on my, at my doctor's surgery on my account that says that I cannot go to the doctors to pick up my prescription to then go to the pharmacy, because it gives me anxiety going outside, which is fun, and they keep making me go to the doctors. I'm like, no. So last time I called up, I told them, I was like, no, this isn't happening. I can't do this. I'm literally having panic attacks. And they were like, oh yeah, sorry, we keep making you come. We'll put a note on your account so we don't do it again. And then they did it 2 more times. And the second time I was like, fuck it then, I'll just come off my medication. Because that's clearly what they want from me. Wasn't a good shout. Don't do it, kids. So the medication I'm on now is a bit like, it's got me 50-50. It stopped me crying every day, which is good. But it's kind of, I don't know if I'm getting used to it or if I've just become emotionless again. So I've been trying to like do things that I normally do, like cleaning, cooking, my knitting. I have no enjoyment in it anymore. Again, but at least I'm not crying every day. I don't know. We'll see. I might change. But it's been nice to get off a antidepressant that is also a sleeping medication. I was finding it that I just could not sleep without the medication, and I was like, nah, this isn't good. This isn't good for me. This isn't good for like anyone else. Because if I'd forget to take it, I could not sleep. And when Scott would stay here, he'd just be like, please don't forget your medication because you stay up all night, and it's just not fun. I'd like crash out at like 5 a.m. and then wake up at 9. It was a moment. Glad I'm off that one. I'm glad I'm kind of on this one. I don't know. I'm 50-50. We'll see. Yeah, I think I'm almost finished with my knitting patch as well. I don't know if I think I want to learn how to crochet it. I feel like knitting is just a bit of a thing. I think I figured out where I'm going wrong with crocheting. I don't know though. Knitting is so easy for me to like grasp, and then crocheting is just like, it's so hard. It's not hard, but it's like, it is hard. Oh my god. Don't even get me started on crocheting. That's a whole different video. I just can't knit with wool. So I thought I'd show you the progress I've made on my patch. Like I said in my last video, I don't know if I'm gonna continue knitting this. Because this has snapped. This yarn has snapped, and I don't know if knitting it is the best option. I've never had a yarn snap on me before. This is velvet yarn, so I don't know if that's a contributing factor. It probably is. I think this is acrylic, so I don't know if it's like as strong as wool. This is the only wool I've ever found that I don't pick up stitches with. So the very first scarf that I knitted, I did it with a wool yarn, and because it's twisted yarns together, like twisted threads together of wool, I was picking up stitches from those twists, and I was ending up with like, it would go bigger and then I'd realise, so I'd like decrease, and it turned out like wavy, and it just didn't look nice. And this velvet yarn is the only yarn that I've ever been able to stop this from happening. I think in the whole time I've been using it, I think I've been using it for like 3 years. Nothing that I've ever finished, but yeah, I've been using velvet yarn for 3 years, and I've picked up a stitch once and corrected myself immediately. I corrected myself in the next row, so completely fine. I don't think I even noticed looking at the final piece. I'm still working on getting my tension right. For my very first patch, it's loose AF. I tend to like drop my yarn if it's annoying me or something, so I need to get better at holding my yarn to give myself a little bit of tension. Otherwise my things are just going to be all different and I don't think it's going to stitch right. If you don't want your Christmas present spoiled, scroll away now. Also, if you hear buzzing in the video, it's my fireplace. It's set to come on if the room drops to a certain temperature, so just ignore it. Starting off, we'll go through like my in-laws stuff, and then I've got my dad's and my sister's presents here. Oh, and Scott's. For Scott's older brother, I got a candle making kit. I thought it'd be really nice to get Scott's older brother something creative, and it smells divine. For Scott's mum, I got a bath bomb set. Scott's always saying how his mum loves bath bombs and loves taking baths, so I just thought that that would be like a perfect gift. For Scott's dad, it's too big to bring downstairs, so I'll show a picture here. I got him a cider set, or a beer set. I can't remember what I got him, but I know it's alcohol. And then for Scott's little brother, I just got this like hot chocolate kit. Then for one of Scott's presents, I'm getting him a couple things. I don't know if you can see, but these, he loves D&D. So I got him some D&D dice with ducks in. I do think he will love these. And we'll move on to my sister and then my dad. So my sister's birthday is like 2 days after Christmas, so I get her 2 presents each year. So for Christmas, I got her some black bath bombs. Like me, she's a little bit spooky, so I thought that this would be a good shout for her, just to have like a completely black bath. And then for her birthday, I got this raven skull necklace. I was a bit 50-50 on it at first, but I think I might keep it. Joking. And then my dad's gift is a bit big one. So this is a map of England, the UK. Last year for Christmas, my dad got my second to oldest brother a map of the world with these. It's the same concept. You put pins in where you'd like to go, and then you put a different coloured pin in for the places that you have been. The second I saw this, I was like, yes, my dad needs this 100%. Cut to me going into my dad's work the other day, and he has a wall of these in his work, and I'm like, I could have got a discount. I could have got these at a discounted price. Fuming. This is like part 1 of the video. I'm going to do a second part with like my mum, my stepdad, my other siblings, Scott's other gifts. Then we'll probably do a video wrapping them, and I'll probably do another video as well doing like cards and stuff and just showing you how I'm doing my cards this year, because I'm doing them a little different.
Looks like you could use some help from the big boss of hell himself. Check out Daddy's long reviews on Yelp. 5-star flawless, really great, with a punch of a pentagram. A whack, bam, boom, I like Kazam.
What is the point in calling your GP anymore? It's going to be a little rant video. I'm sorry, guys. I genuinely love the NHS and everything it stands for, but oh my god. So yesterday, I got a call from my doctor. She just wanted to talk about my change of medication, see how it's doing. And I was like, yeah, it's doing good. It stopped me crying, so that's a plus. And he was like, oh, are you having any, like, bad thoughts or harmful thoughts? And I was like, yeah, but been having them since I was 14, so I can live with it. And then I was like, oh, while I'm on the phone, like, can you refer me to a therapist? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, can you refer me to a therapist? He's like, do you mean like a care worker or like I don't understand. And I was like, an actual therapist, I want to be put into therapy for the issues I have in my life and past and present, future. And he was like, oh, I can't do that. You have to call reception and they'll do it for you. Excuse me? Are they doctors? Is this not your job to be like, to refer me to people? I know that's not all like GPs do, but when the receptionist can do more than the actual doctor, you know you've got a problem. And I was like, also, while we're on the phone, I need to know if you received my questionnaire about my autism diagnosis. And he was like, I can't check on that. It's not in the system, so you'll have to, again, ring reception and ask if they received it. So I've been waiting since August, like worrying that it's not gone through. And it's not gone through. Again, I love the NHS, but are we not seeing issues in this? Is there not a problem going on? People will be like, oh, it's the immigrants. They're draining our resources and they're causing the underfunding of the NHS. I'm like, yeah, sure, it's totally not the royal family charging the NHS 40 million in rent a year. It's totally the immigrants. Next year, I wanted to do some more, like, decorating videos just to show, like, myself the progress of where I've come from and where I am now. So I wanted to run some things past you. I want to do, one of the first projects I want to do next year is my living room fireplace. I wanted to do tiles around the fireplace. Well, I have two ideas, tiles or bricks. So the first idea is this one. And then the second idea is this one. And then I was thinking maybe if I don't like either of them to do like a black brick, like these. I don't know. You guys tell me. You mean 1990s decor? How is this decor from the 1990s? We've been doing this my whole life. When did people stop doing this? Like, I'm genuinely, like, shocked. Do people not do this anymore? I get it, it's tacky and it's not trendy, but, like, this is Christmas. I understand I don't decorate, like, Christmassy. I decorate with, like, black Christmas decor. But even then, you can still tell it's Christmas decor. Genuinely shocked. Like, if I had my own way, the ceiling decorations would be black and white. But they'd still be up there. When did people stop doing this? I don't know. Please tell me I'm not crazy. You need to stitch this video and show me that people still do this, because it can't just be my family. So you want to build your Christmas decor. Maybe you've got your own place and you want to start collecting from scratch, or maybe you just want to start decorating your room to build a Christmas decor supply. These are a couple suggestions from my experience. If you have any more suggestions, comment them down below. When I first got my own flat, I didn't buy any Christmas decor apart from this, like, I don't know what you call it. It's just an in-ground or an in-pot tree. And then I had, like, an old bauble that one of my old friends gave me. I did this again the year after, not buying any Christmas decor at all. It wasn't until, I think, 2020 that I actually started buying my own Christmas decor. I would suggest, if you're just starting out, to just keep to one room. When I moved into my first house, I bought a pop-up Christmas tree, which was like £30. I bought like a 3-foot Christmas tree, which maybe was like £20. Then I bought some garland for the fireplace, some stockings and then some like tacky like Christmas garland that goes on the ceiling. The pop-up tree already came decorated, so I didn't have to spend any money on that. I think I bought some like extra tinsel and a star to go on top, but that was really it. And then each year after this, I've always built upon what I've already got. So I just think this is the perfect place to start. I've been thinking I might change my Christmas tree. This is what it looks like now. I do like it. It's just, I don't like the family baubles on this tree specifically, but I do have a small green tree in the spare room. So I might bring that down here and put them on that. Probably gonna put it here. I'll have to clean the table off first, but maybe. So this is what the tree looks like. And then that's what the black tree looks like now, which means there is more room to fill more decorations on. Let me know what you think, guys.
These creators get on here with viral videos and be like, y'all just post a TikTok, just post a TikTok. Bitch, it's posted. And nobody's watching. Now what? What next? What do I do now?
I used to be really into conspiracy theories, like dragons and giants and Atlantis and all these type of things, up until I started watching Milo Rossi. I first found him on like TikTok of him like debunking conspiracy theorists, and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And then I started watching him on YouTube. His archaeology videos are insanely good. I absolutely love them. But I was watching one of his videos, and I can't remember which one, but in one he was saying that the majority of conspiracy theories were either perpetuated or created by Yahtzees. That completely turned me off straight away. I was just like, oh, so all conspiracies are about white supremacy? Yeah, and I never went back. I do suggest you go look up Milo's videos. He's so funny and so interesting.
You just don't get it, do you? You don't.
Let's change the subject! Because we don't have time to unpack all of that.
Can you give me a credible source then? Because I'd love to read it. Because archaeologists don't agree. Historians don't agree. So where are you getting your information from? Is it a historically inaccurate book? Possibly. So I'm not claiming that the Great Flood actually happened, but the Bible does. If you read Genesis 6:13, God says very plainly that the entire world is corrupt and he's going to destroy all humans on Earth. So why do you think the Bible does not claim that? So the Bible doesn't say that giants exist, allegedly, but it does. It speaks about Nephilim, which are the children of angels and humans, and these beings are said to be giants, literal giants. So Genesis 6:4 is the first time, I think, that Nephilim are mentioned in the Bible, and then I think they're mentioned later on as well when it says that there were like several different species of Nephilim. I don't know, but the Bible does say that Nephilim exist and are giants.
Is there anyone alive out there? We waited too long. Well, keep checking them! Keep looking!
Do people actually think Ancient Apocalypse and Joe Rogan are reliable sources for information? Seriously. I fear for the future of society. It just proves how much the education system has failed people, because they don't know a fact from a conspiracy theory. I think we should normalise saying our real ages online. Hello, I am Theodore, and I am 187. If you've been following along, you'll know that I'm making a patchwork cardigan based off the Harry Styles one. Not in the exact same colours or the exact same pattern, more just the patches are... the patch work is more of the inspiration. Originally, I was going to make it all black. I have loads of orange yarn in my craft room, so we're using some of that, and we're using my black yarn as well to make like kind of a Halloween-y cardigan instead. I'm going to be putting patterns on it to maybe look like pumpkins. I don't know, we'll see. Go back and make the completely black cardigan. It's something that I want to have all year round. Well, not all year, not in the summer, but maybe in like the winter months towards like January to March, basically, and then have it as like a piece when there isn't a holiday around, so like September, maybe November kind of thing. I don't know, I'll see when I wear it. Was wondering as well, is there like a natural version of velvet yarn? Because I know the velvet yarn I've been getting, I think, is polyester, and I do want to be like moving my clothes towards a more natural like fabric type thing. So I don't know if there's like a velvet yarn that's made out of like wool or cotton, or please tell me in the comments. You heard it here first, guys. If you make Christmas videos, you're obsessed with Christianity. I make Christmas videos because it's easier to say Christmas than Yule, because then your videos actually get pushed out. They get pushed out less because if you say Yule, because less people celebrate Yule, more people celebrate Christmas. So it's just easier to say Christmas. But claiming someone is obsessed with Christianity because they talk about Christmas is wild. Some people don't even know where their holidays come from, and it baffles me how like uneducated people are. Like, if you actually look into the origins of Christmas, it comes from Roman holidays, Roman pagan holidays, and there are several other like influences that we still do today, like pagan German traditions and other like European pagan traditions are very like influenced in Christmas. Like, I don't think there's a single thing about Christmas, apart from the name and the celebration of Jesus' birth, that is actually Christian. Companies should be able to sue customers for being stupid. What's making me laugh about the Quality Street ornament recall is the fact that who eats chocolate without unwrapping it first? Who looks at a wrapped piece of chocolate and thinks, oh yeah, I'll just eat the wrapper? Who eats it with the wrapper on? How many people thought that these were actual sweets and chocolates and tried to eat them? Like, I want a statistic. How many people did this? Natural selection isn't taking people out quick enough. I fear for the people that these like hazard signs and mind your heads and Don't eat the fake chocolates were made for. Oh my god. Who was eating these? I need to talk to someone who was eating them. I have so many questions. None of them are nice. We should bring back shaming stupidity. We're moving into the holiday season, so I just wanted to talk about the origins of some Christmas traditions. Decorating the Christmas tree is pagan. Santa Claus is pagan. Hanging mistletoe above your doorway is pagan. Giving gifts is pagan. Christmas caroling is pagan. The date of Christmas is pagan. Christmas wreaths are pagan. Hanging stockings are pagan. Decorating with holly is pagan. Christmas is heavily influenced by Roman paganism and Norse paganism. So yeah, the majority of your Christmas traditions, if not all of them, are from paganism. Just so you know. I'll happily do a video following up from this, if anyone wants to see it, of the actual origins of these different traditions and where they actually come from. I think the history behind these traditions is so interesting, and it's so sad that it's just been watered down by Christianity over the years and adopted and changed, and we just don't know the origins of these things, or the majority of people don't know the origins of these things. Unlike Garfield, one of my favourite days of the week is Monday. I like to do a roast dinner every Sunday, so there's a lot of washing up that has to be done afterwards. So I kind of just leave it for Monday morning after I've had my breakfast and my coffee and just had a chilled morning. I used to be really into cleaning when we first moved into the house, but things kind of mental health wise, they kind of caught up with me and I neglected it for quite a while. I've been getting back into it lately, which is a good thing. It just keeps me busy and I'm not dwelling on things as much when I am busy. Hence why I do a lot of cleaning now, a lot of knitting and a lot of other crafts. Just keep myself busy. I like to go to my sister's a lot as well, which probably annoys her, but she's stuck with me. When I'm in these cleaning moments, there's something about it. Just seeing a clean house makes me feel like I can actually relax and do my crafts and keep busy with other things as well. When I'm looking at piles of dishes and stuff, it's just not fun to look at, and I just kind of neglect it. If I see loads of dishes in the sink, I'm just ugh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then it never gets done. So I am trying to keep on top of things, which is a good thing. I like that the labyrinth seems to be listening to Percy and the others. It's kind of sentient almost. Annabeth kind of says that it's kind of sentient and then it groans at them. And I was just yeah, I really like that. Percy's comment about the milkmen. I'm not that old, and we used to have milkmen deliver our milk. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. I absolutely love Janus, the god of doorways, gates, pathways, whatever. Just reading up on him, he's a Roman god, so does that open up the possibility of seeing gods from other pantheons in the books? I'm not liking Hera at the moment. I know the gods are kind of unhelpful at the best of times, but she literally came in, gave them food, and then was just oh, you already have the answers. Very Glinda. I don't know. I think she was too cryptic. I'm moving on to knitting my black patches. I'm doing 3 patches at a time. So I've done 3 orange patches, and I'm going to do 3 black patches, then back to orange, then back to black, back to orange, back to black. I'm just doing this so I don't get fatigued. I find that if I'm knitting a lot, which I will be, I'm doing 36 patches, something like that. I just find that if I'm doing the same colour over and over and over again, I just get bored, and I tend to not finish the project if I'm that bored. So I just think that this is a fun way. And then I'm mixing up as well. I'm doing 9 black patches with, I think I'm going to do pumpkins on, and then 9 orange patches with black pumpkins. So we'll see how that goes. It was my nan's birthday last week. We lost her in 2018 and she was an avid knitter and crocheter. She loved crafts and everything. And when I do these crafts, it does make me feel like more connected to her still. I think she'd be very happy to see that I've kept up on my knitting and my other crafts. I made a dress for her when I was 15 for like my final project in high school, which she absolutely loved. And just being able to like share my like crafts and projects with people, like I genuinely think she'd absolutely love that I'm able to do this now. I think if TikTok was a thing when she was alive, I think she'd absolutely adore it. The way that it connects people together as well. Just, she would have loved it. Hoovering is definitely one of those things that I kind of sort of neglected in the past. I would put it off and off and off and off until it literally had to be done or someone was coming over, and then it just seemed to be more of a chore to do it all in one day. So I've kind of just started doing like different tasks on different days. On Mondays I'll tend to hoover the living room and the kitchen. On Tuesdays I'll hoover the stairs and the hallway outside, like around the front door. On Wednesdays I'll hoover the upstairs, like the bathroom, the spare bedroom, my dad's room and my room, and the landing. Splitting it up into these different days has really helped with like the bulk of the job. It's kind of put off the dread of hoovering. I have multiple hoovers as well because of this. So I have like a little hoover upstairs that I used to keep by the litter boxes upstairs, so I could just hoover around them every day. And then I have the big hoover downstairs, but I store it upstairs anyway. So I was like, why am I like dreading dragging this up and down every like few days? So splitting it up into these like tasks and then putting the hoover back upstairs after each day has really helped me like be able to like keep on top of things. Basically doing little tasks every day is just improving my mental health so much. It almost felt as if I knew I was going to have a bad mental health day today last night. Last night I made myself some overnight oats because I was like, oh, I just feel like I'm not going to be like bothered to make breakfast in the morning. Went to bed feeling a little like, I don't know, a little fluffy. Is that the word? I don't know. And then this morning I woke up and I was just like, oh, I'm not getting out of bed today. I do not want to get out of bed today. I kind of had like a reality check. I looked at myself and I was just like, Theo, you need to get out of bed today. Who else will feed the cats? So I was like, oh, I'll just get out of bed and feed the cats and then I'm going back to bed. And then I was like, oh, well, I've made myself breakfast. I'm not going to let food go to waste. So I had my breakfast. And then I was just like, you need to stick to your own advice, Theo. You need to make yourself busy. So I decided to go out and scatter my orange peels over the blueberry patch. And then I was like, oh, this ivy's overgrown as well. So I decided to start doing that. So the pumpkin patch is, they've not rotted yet. We'll see how long it takes them to do that. But then, yeah, I decided to work on this ivy because, like, I heard my nan's voice in my head. She would be embarrassed to see the state of the garden is at the moment or in recent years. So I decided to start working on that. And it's not cold enough outside that I can't work, and it's not too cold that it would put me off. So I just decided to do this today. I'd probably finish it tomorrow. So this is where I put my leftover pumpkins from Halloween, or if I grow them next year, this is where they'll go each year. I just put them here to see if they'll actually grow next year. I put some here last year. They didn't grow, but that's okay. And over here is where the rhubarb grows. If you just see that brown spot there, that's one of the rhubarb crowns. I can't see the other one. I think it's around like here somewhere. God knows where that is. But yeah, this is like the rhubarb patch. Over to the strawberry patch. It's gone all the way from here, all over here, to about there, and I think that's where it stops. You can see that I have like straw partly the way down, and then it's like grass is overgrown here. The straw's not, I did have straw here, but I've put grass cuttings over it and it's just wiped out the straw there. So next year I'm just going to put down straw and no grass on top. I think I'll put the grass cuttings over in the corner where I've just been clearing for the past few weeks. This bush I'm planning on getting rid of. I don't really like it, and it takes up a lot of room. I think this would be better for some fruit trees, like either side of it. It's like one there, one there. So yeah, I do think I'm going to remove this. Got my lavender bush that I planted when we first moved in. So this is 3 years old. Absolutely love it. Over from the strawberry patch, we have my blueberry patch. Yeah, I put all my like fruit, discarded fruit and like orange peels here because it's good to add acidity to the soil around the blueberry patches to keep them healthy. Then we've got my newest apple tree, and the apple tree I planted when we first moved in. They are my pride and joy. Then we've got the pear tree that I planted when we first moved in, and then if you can see, this is the one I've just planted a couple months ago with the other apple tree. So hopefully we get pears next year. Move down the makeshift path I made. This is the area that I've been clearing. I've just put all the ivy here just so it can mulch down. I didn't plant this. I think it's a butterfly bush. I didn't plant it, it just started growing. So I think I'm going to cut it down and put some more fruit trees up here. Maybe. This used to be like my wild patch because my lawnmower didn't reach up here, but I'm borrowing my brother-in-law's cordless lawnmower so I can just clear this all out and keep it tamed. This here used to be my compost heap, and I put a load of like grass cuttings and soil here, and it's just mounded up. So I think I'm gonna like get my brother and my boyfriend to clear this out, flatten it out, and then again another fruit tree. Lastly, the shed is falling apart, so I'm thinking about asking if I can like take it down. I know there's a patio under there because there's like slabs here, so hopefully the patio goes throughout the whole shed, and then I could have that as like a place to put like a table and chairs so people can actually sit down in the garden, because we don't have any garden furniture. So yeah, that is the November garden tour. I don't think I'm going to do one again until February because it's just going to be too cold to do any work in the garden until then. I always find it funny that hoovering the stairs is the job that I dread doing every week. It's just one of those like mentally taxing jobs that I just don't like doing. I think it's funny when people claim that doing housework is not a job. These people clearly have never cleaned a whole house a day in their life. Because it is, or they've clearly never cleaned a whole house every day for any amount of time. My philosophy is if it's emotionally taxing and physically draining, then it's a job. It doesn't matter if you're getting paid to do it or not. I love seeing the stairs clean, but it's just doing them. And I don't know why, it's such an easy job. It's not like I'm dusting every surface every day. It's just, I hoover the stairs once a week, and that's the job I dread. I don't know why. I think it's funny. Also, has anyone seen that viral mop that has the pedal to spin it? Mine's a knockoff version. I think it's really good. It's like the best thing I've ever bought, which proves now I'm an adult, because I like mops and it's so sad. But yeah, I think this is the best mop I've ever bought. I am thinking about getting a steam mop because I just think that would be easier than like filling the mop bucket with like soap and vinegar. I'm really looking forward to getting a steam mop. I'm so sad.
Damn, what is that, bro?
So last week was the 4-year anniversary of me getting Stevie and Flea, my two beautiful kitty cats. You'll be able to see Flea in this video. She's so cute. She likes to sneak over as if I can't see her and then lay on my lap as if that means she's invisible. It's hilarious. I honestly can't believe that it's been 4 years since getting them. Getting them was the best decision I ever made. It gave me like 2 little best friends. They are literally my children. I birthed them. No one can prove me otherwise. I'm not going to say it hasn't come with its challenges. I don't think I was fully prepared for what having a cat entails, but over the past 4 years, I've learnt from them. They've learnt from me. I think it has honestly been one of the biggest joys in my life, and obviously I wouldn't have the kittens if I didn't have Flea or Stevie. If Stevie wasn't around, then Flea wouldn't be born, and if Flea wasn't born, then I wouldn't have had the kittens. Salem, Mooch, Spot and Maze, I honestly love them. I don't get to see Spot. He got rehomed into a family that I don't speak to or know really, so it's a little bit heartbreaking to know that one of my kittens are out there and I don't know about them. But the other 3, I'm so lucky to have them in my lives, and I'm so thankful to Stevie and Flea for starting that family.
4 rules you need to remember. Make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan.
Get ready with me. I just think we're gardening today, so it doesn't have to be anything special. We're going to shave, well, I'm going to shave, and then we'll get to the fit. I forgot to tie my hair up. Should we do makeup and then the outfit? Let's do that. I think we're just gonna do eyeliner today. I can't be bothered doing eyeshadow. I got it in my eye. Oh, I got more on that one. Yeah, I poked myself in the eye. It's gonna be one of those days, guys. You can't really see it with my glasses. But it's not for you, it's for me. Yeah, we'll get on with like the outfit. I'm gonna swap my t-shirt over. Stop peeking. I love this t-shirt. It's from like my Riverdale days. Anytime I wear it, my dad's like, why are you wearing my t-shirt? I'm like, it's not yours, it's mine. He's a goofball. I'm gonna put it with this, like, my tried and tested jumper. I love this. I wear it almost every week. If not, most days a week. And then we'll do my trousers. I do like these trousers. So when I started gaining weight, when I realised I'd gained a lot of weight and none of my pants fit me anymore, I bought these. I've been taking them in ever since. Turns out I've been losing weight recently. I've gone down from like a 42-inch waist to a 39.5. Beautiful. Let's keep that up. I bought this belt with the pants, well, the trousers as well. And since buying it, I've added 4 new holes, so that's a good sign. Everyone tried to gaslight me and say that leather stretches and it's not the belt, it's not you, it's the belt, and I was just like, yeah. Turns out it was me all along. 'Twas Theodore all along. Salem's pooping and she likes people to hear her when she poops. You're a very vocal kitty. I twisted it. 'Tis the fit. What do you guys think? Have you seen, like, the people? I don't know if I can do it. Right. I need to take this in again. They just took their jumpers here. And then leave it out. Is that a thing? Does this look right? I don't know. I can't really see because of the recording button, but does this look alright? I think gender and sexuality can be very confusing for some people. I think that nowadays it's more like frowned upon to be talking about these things because of certain people. But the more we talk about these things and the more we put words to feelings and emotions and like different things, the more we understand these things. Even me, someone who's been out as bisexual since I think 15 maybe. Yeah, I think I've been out since I was 15. I've struggled with my sexuality, figuring out if I was gay or bisexual for many, many years. I don't think I really fully understood until I was like in my 20s. I am 100% bisexual. I like men, I like women. But on the other side, I kind of neglected other feelings of like gender. I did come out to my mum and some family members as gender fluid when I was like 16. Since then, we've never really talked about it. I've never really felt like I've needed to. There was like a time in like 2020 during lockdown where I was just like, I do want to be wearing like more makeup, more feminine things, more like dresses and skirts and stuff. But I've never really felt fully male or fully female. I kind of just flip-flop between the two and I don't really care. I don't mind what pronouns you use for me. I don't mind like what you call me gender-wise. If you read the pronouns in my bio, they are male and female. I just don't mind. There was a time in college as well where I came out to my friends and I was just like, oh yeah, I'm gender fluid, I want to be more female. And there were girls in my class and they turned around and they were just like, so are you going to be wearing more like female clothes then? Are you going to dress like a woman? I said to them, like, I'll wear what makes me comfortable in the moment. I don't really think that just because I feel female, I should be wearing female clothes 100% all the time. Because there are days where I do feel masculine. Like, I'm growing a mustache because I feel quite male at the moment. But I also still want to be wearing like skirts and makeup and stuff, so it's kind of confusing. I understand how people can be confused. I think we just need to be like destigmatizing like boys wearing dresses and stuff. Like, I think people are so scared of their children being like gay or trans that they don't like, they forget that like clothes aren't gendered. Like, nothing really is gendered. We've put these like gendered stereotypes on clothes and makeup and stuff, and it's just not the case. I remember when I first started wearing skirts in front of my family, I came down in this like short pink tartan skirt, and my dad turned around and he was like, no son of mine will wear a skirt like that. And I was like, what do you mean, Dad? And he was just like, it's too short, go put a longer one on. And I was just like, thank you. I nearly cried.
I lost it, said that I was fine, said it from my coffin. Remember how I died when you started walking? That's my life, that's my life. I'll put up a fight, taking out my earrings. Don't you know the vibe? Don't you know the feeling? It's just spend the night, catch me on your ceiling. That's your price, that's your price. Well, bacon and cheese, so cool. Kicking back on your couch, making eyes from across the room. Wait, I think I've been there
a lovely frosty day, and I promised myself I'd get out more, even if it was cold. So we're going to the garden centre to look at their Christmas decor. The second I woke up today and I saw that it was frosty out, I decided that, yeah, I needed to get out and just be out in the cold and the nature and just go for a walk, basically. Thankfully, it doesn't look too busy, so I think I'll be able to record without being too anxious. I always love like the Christmas displays they do. They've got this tree. Next to it, they've got this tree. All the Christmas sweets. I absolutely love coming here and getting ideas for like stockings and stuff. I've always wanted to get like a live Christmas tree from here, but I don't think I could spend like this much money on a Christmas tree. If I was ever going to do a Christmas village, this would be the first place that I would go. I absolutely love the display they do every year. They do these like miniatures as well, and I think they're absolutely beautiful. Look at these ones. They're all so cute. I do need to stock up on some LED candles. Look at these Christmas trees, guys. I'd like a tree like this, like one that actually looks real and there's not much like else, not much more decoration on it. They always do like different things for everyone. I love these like fur throws they do. So if you're looking for like a more autumnal Christmas decorations, come here, or just come here for like your autumn decorations. Look at all this, it's absolutely beautiful. And then this is the matching baubles. Absolutely love these. I might pick some of these up. Got Christmas like dinosaurs. Absolutely love these. They've got some nice like more Christmassy stuff. Like this is more like traditional or like tacky Christmas. I do like this. It just doesn't go with anything I've got. This is where they do like pictures with Santa each year. I just want this chair. Gold and white Christmas. Some purples, pinks, some reds down there. I absolutely love these. But again, it's nothing that I would like buy for mine. We've got green Christmas. Absolutely love this. And it's a mixed tree. Some blue stuff over here. These are like some of the cushions that I bought last year from the range. They're a bit cheaper from the range. But I do need to pick up some like tablecloths and stuff. And some napkins. Oh my god, look at that one. I love that one. Christmas tree candles. I absolutely love these. Look at these, they're beautiful. Stuff for pets as well if you're looking for some Christmas toys. These remind me of the ones my nan used to have. This is very like traditional Christmas. Okay, look at these. I love that cushion. Or the one, or the throw behind it. I love that. Some nutcrackers. Angel tree toppers, aren't they beautiful? We miss the rocking horse next to them. Do you like getting my baubles from here? I pick up my baubles, most of my family baubles. Look at them, I want them. I pick up most of my family baubles from here. I just don't think you can go wrong with like green and red Christmas and gold. I had a set of like baubles like this, but they were glass. White Christmas. This is more close to the stuff that I'd buy for myself. This feels like very homemade and I absolutely love this. Look at these like felt Christmas trees. Giving me ideas of what to make myself. These owls and penguins. I want to pick some up, maybe next year though. This tree's my favourite. I didn't even notice this sea of Christmas trees. Got these smaller Christmas trees, frost weather depending, cute as well, and I'd actually like plant these in my garden. These are the cutest thing to like plant some of your like winter flowers in. Or these like LED owl candles. I absolutely love these. I didn't really see anything that I liked in there, but There was some beautiful stuff. Nothing that I would buy, I mean, but there was some beautiful stuff in there.
I want to spend some time with you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
Won't even give it a go?
Absolutely not a chance.
Are you sure?
Do I look as if I'm not sure?
Well, I just think we might as well just give it a go.
Why should I?
Well,